Hi there, and welcome to Dr. DELAGRAENTISS Presents the DELAGRAENTISS Health, Wealth, and Longevity Institute's Ancient Practices, along with our wonderful new co-host. Introduce yourself to our audience, my dear.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lela Dang, and I am so honored to be here co-hosting with the one and the only Dr. DELAGRAENTISS.
I am choking up here, but here at the DELAGRAENTISS Health, Wealth, and Longevity Institute, in conjunction with the MD Health via Voltage Institute, we work with the whole person, spirit, soul, and body/finance. We implement a number of protocols, including biomagnetic, behavior modification, quantum touch, whole body vibration therapy, and scalar energy, to name just a few. We have done over 3,000 clinicals in the area of biomagnetics and scalar energy, two of the oldest health protocols in the world. Some people consider these protocols alternative medicine. However, let me focus on and explain scalar energy like I've heard Dr. Jerry Tennant describe it. If you remember the ancient pyramids of Egypt, some of which are thousands of years old, contain a chamber that is exactly 1/3 of the way down from the top to the bottom. And by the way, the pyramids are built to be Fibonacci tolerances that are amazing. The reason they built these chambers, because they are a platonic solid, solar energy flowing into them. Yes, one of the reasons they had them was so that the Pharaoh and his family could go in and sit in the center of the chamber and receive into their bodies the scalar energy. Perhaps you have seen them in pictures with their hands crossed like this. In the tremendously powerful movie, The Black Panther, you will remember them emulating the crossing of their arms, as if they were empowering up or engendering both. The Pharaoh and his family had arms crossed and had bamboo pieces in each hand. These were hollowed out and filled with different types of crystals, which emitted different scalar healing frequencies. So they were actually designed to bring about healing. The headdress that they wore was an antenna designed to bring in the electromagnetic portion of the energy. So this is not an alternative protocol, the way people think of alternatives, but it is one of the original healing treatments worldwide.
Dr. Matteo Bolding DELAGRAENTISS has worked with a scientific team which was actually nominated for a Nobel Prize in biomagnetics.
Thank you. And in the area of behavior modification, we teach people how to memorize, internalize, and personalize the ancient wisdom that Abba Father has afforded humanity. In fact, all humanity has it at their disposal. And as a result, we are redefining tell a vision and recreating the concept of university. Today's challenges are calling for a new and innovative kind of university, one that welcomes new methodologies, embraces new ideologies, and then presents new and innovative ways to effectively and collaboratively communicate and care for the communities that they serve. The importance of gaining knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is the primary key in our educating people. We lead people into an understanding that energy is everything, and that everything is energy. All these protocols come from ancient wisdom. They are there even in your Bibles, filled with knowledge and understanding, with the common thread of voltage in each of the protocols. We are bringing the ancient traditions of Abba Father into use with new methods, new technologies, and new devices. My dears, we will be right back after this very beautiful presentation by our new guest co-host, Miss Dang.
And I'm always misbehaving, yeah, got that fire. I know you see it in me, and you know I'm wired. No caffeine, I am winning. I don't get tired, I'm barely sleeping 8 hours. Still got that power, and I'm only getting louder, yeah. I'm only getting louder, yeah. Ooh, 'cause you couldn't handle me, even if you tried. Girls wanna cancel me, jealousy aside. Easily unbothered, she don't care. Please don't take it to heart. Just don't make it harder, baby. Yeah, it's life. That's the way I get high. I don't need hard drugs to fly. My energy fuels my night. Oh, I love life. Murdered all my ego and pride. I stick up for everything right. I have too much soul for my height. Oh, hey, yeah. Thank you again so much for having me and listening. You can find me as Lela Dang under any platform, and have a blessed day.
Welcome back to Dr. DELAGRAENTISS Presents Ancient Practices. You will note my wonderful assistant here, the lovely Amy Reynolds, is going to play the part of the practitioner, and your humble servant leader will be the patient. We want to introduce Scalor Energy to all of you with the notion that not only is it extremely innovative, very, very effective, but it has been around since the beginning. Correction, that's not true. It's been around since before time began. Yes. Amy, I'm in your hands.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Today, what we're going to do is look at two modes of implementing energy into the body for healing. The two modes are electromagnetic energy and scalar energy.
Yes.
The way we're going to do this, at some times in our lives, because of maybe 5 different underlying causes, our circuits in our body get flipped, like they're upside down. Like when your breaker flips off, the same thing happens in our bodies. And in order to correct that, we're going to use the energy to flip them back on. So the first implement that I have...
So where are you going to get the energy from?
Well, I am going to get it from this implement that is called a biomodulator that runs on batteries.
Uh-huh.
And then this electrode is the first mode that we're using to introduce the electromagnetic energy into the body in specific spots in order to do specific things, which I will explain as we go.
Namely, flipping what?
The switches, the
That's
circuits
right, the
back
circuits.
on.
Yes.
So the first thing I'll do is use the electrode. This is called a Y electrode, and which has to be right against the skin in order to work. I will introduce it to the back of the neck in order to recharge the liver gallbladder circuit. And what I'm going to have you do, Dr. DELAGRAENTISS, is to tell me when you feel a tingle on your neck.
I feel the tingle.
All right.
What is it on now?
It's on 5, power of 5.
Wonderful.
And what we're going to do is just hold this here and allow that electromagnetic energy to go into that liver gallbladder circuit. We're going to hold it here for 3 minutes.
What would be the benefit of doing that to those 2 organs?
The liver does over 2,000 functions in your body.
That's right.
The biggest, it is the 70% of your body is cleansed of toxins by the liver.
Yes.
The gallbladder is that which produces the bile that the liver uses. So these 2 organs are extremely, extremely important organs to your body's health. If without the liver, your skin has to do an enormous amount of cleansing, which it really isn't quite built to do that much.
It is not designed to do that.
It is not designed to do that. Now, as we wait for the 3 minutes, I've already seen the modulator indicate that quite a bit of this has been completed.
Good.
But we do wait for the whole 3 minutes. After which, we will use this Y electrode on both sides of the neck, one and then the other.
Sympathetic and parasympathetic.
Parasympathetic, yes. With that, we will reset the autonomic nervous system. And in that way, your body will be calmed. Take away the anxiety, the depression. It's really good for the PTSD, managing it and just being so much more calm. And that allows your body to just prepare for this healing that we're going to introduce to your body. So here we are at, we have half a minute left.
Good.
On the liver gallbladder. And it's interesting to note that each circuit has a port that we can introduce the energy to. Like I was saying, that this gallbladder liver is right here on the back of the neck. and then the para and parasympathetic on the sides of the neck. And each way down the general meridian of your body is a separate, an individual one, like one here and here and here, and then up here. So that you can do, you can use for specific targeting of the energy as well. All right, so the 3 minutes is up, and I'm going to have you put the Y electrode, you, Dr. DELAGRAENTISS, to put this up right behind, well, right below the ear by the vagus nerve, and we will go again. You tell me when you've got the tingling going on. And it's really important to note that we don't need a whole lot of tingle. A lot of you are familiar with the stimulator, the muscle stimulator, the TENS unit that gives causes your muscles to tense up, stimulate them, and they put that.
The tingle.
Oh, good. Now I'm going to change it to the infinity mode, which is good for all kinds of healing, and it comes in as a pulse, in and out, to be a lot more gentle on the sympathetic and parasympathetic areas. This is, it's not in order to have your muscles stimulated so much that you just feel all that tension. It's just enough tingle in order to have the energy flow through nice and calmly.
Tell my audience who I would not utilize this on. People
you
who
would
have,
not utilize this on anyone who has a pacemaker.
Yeah. Go on.
And people who are hooked up to machines that there would be a lot of electromagnetic frequency in the room.
And the reason why I want you to share that is because I'm frequently in hospitals. I'm welcomed into hospitals daily, even on weekends. I've been known to spend almost a weekend in hospitals with different ones of our patients, and only one of them had did have a pacemaker. The hospital almost lost them because the pacemaker went from their heart up to their left shoulder. That wasn't supposed to happen. We'll talk about that another time. But just know that we're very cautious about and very circumspect about who we work with, work on. Continue, please.
Okay, I want to continue with the whole idea of, I know somebody watching is wondering, well, how would your circuits flip off in the first place?
Good.
Why would we need to turn them back on?
Mm-hmm.
The quick answer to that can become very detailed, is that there are 5 major causes to have a circuit turn off. One is emotional baggage.
Mm-hmm.
If you are so worn down and have these trapped emotions in your body, you just can't seem to get past them, that would flip a switch, depending on where that emotion is centered in your body.
Where are most of those kinds of emotions found? Where do they emulate from?
Each organ has a different emotion that comes out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like the liver is considered the seat of anger.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on what you're going through would determine which circuit becomes compromised, because each and every organ is on one of the circuits, one or another of the circuits. That's 3 minutes. Let's do the other side.
And just so my audience knows, percentage-wise, most of this baggage, most of this goes all the way back to childhood.
Yes, and emotional baggage is close to, accounts for, along with another one of the causes, accounts for 70 to 80% of the circuits flipping. All right, let me know when you feel this. Usually on the right side, you feel it sooner. It's at 11 now. Oh, here's a problem. I'm going to take it back down because it has to be on the skin, and this is catching your collar.
Okay.
There we
It's
go.
touching my collar.
All right, now.
You should share with the audience that the tingle doesn't hurt,
No, it's very gentle.
but you will also feel it done properly all the way up to the tip of your earlobe.
And down into the jaw, possibly.
Yes,
Are you feeling it now?
I am.
All right. Put it back on infinity for that pulse. Now, so the emotional baggage is one of the main causes for circuits to flip. The other that is just as often a problem, 70 to 80% of the circuits flipped, are because of dental issues. Every single tooth has a circuit going through it. And any kind of compromised tooth, whether it be infected or have a big hole in it or whatever it is, can disrupt that circuit and flip it off. So it is imperative to have proper dental treatment done in order to have your body be able to maintain that circuitry.
Root canal is an special note.
Yes, root canals are not the way to go for any reason at all. Can you explain who they should go to?
They should go to a naturopathic dentist who specializes in this particular protocol, and there are specific articles that they should use to protect not only the patient by putting these articles there, but it protects them. Even Dr. Tennant was working on someone. He is a licensed professional dentist. Not
ophthalmologist.
forgive me. You're right, ophthalmologist. And he himself became ill from working on someone's dental arena, and that was escaping came up through his mask that he had on and affected him how?
Oh, he got encephalitis in his brain and spent the next 7 years sleeping 17 hours a day. He did not have the energy because he contracted that virus from a patient that he was doing surgery on. Now, the dentists that you're talking about, instead of using x-rays, they use a conical scan beam that allows them to see everything that's going on within the jaw bones and teeth, the whole works. But it's not giving you radiation. They also use ozone gas to put into those, if they were to extract a tooth, there's going to be a great big hole there where the tooth was, and they will inject the ozone gas into the mouth that way, and it goes all through the whole jaw area because your bones there are porous. They have a lot of nooks and crannies, and the gas will fill them all up. And what does it do? It kills infection.
There you go.
So it's immediately takes care of your infection instead of using antibiotics, which don't only kill the bad stuff. It also kills the good guys.
Yes.
All right, that's 3 minutes. And now I'm going to tell you one of the treatments that we're not doing right here on air is down the spine, because it has to be on bare skin, down the spine, which resets your autonomic ganglia. All the way down the spine, it resets everything. So at this point, I'm going to switch the mode of energy. We are going to go into the scalar energy at this point.
Good.
And I will need for you probably to remove your hat.
It's not a hat.
Okay, your fez.
Thank you.
All right, so we are going to set the scalar energy on harmonics, and I'm going to power it all the way up to the highest power on this modulator, which is 250. Now, the difference here, you heard a little bit about scalar energy and the ancient pyramids. Scalar energy is the energy that is all around us, but it moves differently and acts differently than electromagnetic.
In that scalar energy is all around you, you're absolutely correct, but it is waiting to do something.
Yes, it is.
It is waiting for you to dictate what you want it to do. It's the exact same energy that Abba Father Yahweh utilized when he thought and spoke and things manifested. You have that power if you've been endued with the anointing of Holy Spirit. You probably aren't using it, but you do have that. Continue.
Okay, so right now what I'm doing is shining the scalar energy. Actually, the red light is only there to carry the scalar energy where you want it to go. We can't see it as just scalar, so it is riding on the red light wave in order for us to know where it's going. And so I am shining it right down Dr. DELAGRAENTIS' spine, and at this point, all of the circuits that are not in the correct position are flipping back on.
Yes.
If they're turned off, then we're flipping them back on. It does not take the ones that are on and turn them off. It's always healing.
Thank
It
you.
is always healing.
Yes.
Now, and I'm going to go back and talk a little bit more about those 5 underlying causes. So we've touched on the emotions and we've touched on the dental. Mm-hmm. Another one is toxins. All the toxins that we have in our food, in our water, in our air. We are bombarded every day with toxins, and our livers get overworked. So we need to help them. If the liver gets too bogged down with the toxins, then we've got to do some detoxing. And toxins can also be things like parasites and bad bacteria and mold. That's a big one.
Yes.
So many chemicals and heavy metals. There's so many different kinds of toxins. So you would go through cleansing, detoxing to get all of those out and allow your liver to be able to do the job that it is designed to do. So at this point, we are flipping them on, and we will hold this here for 5 to 7 minutes. It can actually be as long as you want it to be, but a minimum of 5 to flip them back on. The fourth out of the 5 underlying causes, along with the emotions, the dental, and the toxins, is the thyroid. Mm-hmm. The thyroid is so compromised in so many people because just about everybody is deficient in iodine. Mm-hmm. And you have to have iodine for the thyroid to do the hundreds and hundreds of things that it does for the body. Every single cell has a receptor for the thyroid, for the thyroid to function. And when those receptors are stolen by things like fluoride and a couple of other things, particularly fluoride, they take up that, they steal that position of the iodine, then the thyroid cannot function correctly. So that is a big, big thing, because the thyroid is so, it does such a big job in our bodies. It's responsible for so many things. The fifth underlying cause is what?
Correct.
Scars
Yes.
and tattoos.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, everybody says, what? Tattoos? What?
Yes.
Oh, and it's just an amazing kind of thing to think about that. Any kind of scar that you have can be, you know how scar tissue is a whole lot thicker than the regular skin? Mm-hmm. Well, that thickness of the scar tissue builds a resistance to the electricity running through. The electricity has a hard time getting through that tissue. What can we do about it? Scalar energy heals that. Scalar energy heals that. So we would address the scar that is indicating a resistance with the scalar energy for usually about 30 minutes will do the job. Mm-hmm. Some scars are so deep and thick that they take an oil to help it loosen, and along with the scalar energy, and you might have to treat them
several times.
Yeah, several times before it finally gives up that resistance. Now, what you say? What about tattoos? What makes them so bad? A tattoo. Have you ever wondered why you can see a tattoo for years and years and years when your skin renews itself regularly? Mm-hmm. What happens is that when the ink is injected into the skin, the body says, "Ah, a foreign object." Mm-hmm. And the tissue builds up right around it. It encases that ink so that it can't go anywhere else and mess the body up, mm-hmm. poison the body. Mm-hmm. And that tissue builds up. And each and every time the skin is sloughed off, that tissue is rebuilt around that ink and keeps the ink right in that same place for years. However, with that tissue buildup, you get a resistance and you disrupt the circuitry of your body and causes circuits to flip off. And so with too many tattoos, you end up being very compromised in your health. So again, we treat the tattoos with the scalar energy to break that resistance of the thickened tissue. And so those are the 5 underlying causes for the body's circuits to flip off. And this treatment will flip them back on so that they work correctly. However, if you don't do something about taking care of those situations, if you don't get rid of your dental problems, if you don't take the resistance out of the scars, get the toxins out of your body, support your thyroid, release all those emotional traumas, then your body will keep on flipping off.
Yes.
You can turn it back on until you get rid of the problems, the underlying cause, it will keep on going off. Yeah. So the question becomes, well, why bother doing this if it's going to flip back off again? As much as you can keep the circuits running, then your body can heal itself. Mm-hmm. It can come back to a higher level of health. And the other notion about that is that while you are working on them, let me say this.
Okay.
Minus 20 to minus 25 millivolts of energy have to be in every cell of your body for those cells to be healthy and function properly. Well, what happens when, you know how the cells, they don't live forever. They make new cells. They make new cells over and over. Well, in order to make a new cell that's going to function properly, it has to have minus 50 millivolts. It takes twice as much energy, and we say minus because it's an electron and they're negatively charged. It takes twice as much energy to make a cell than it does for the cell to function properly.
Yes.
So
Hence, scalar energy.
Scalar energy
Yes.
for the healing. So you want to continue keeping them on, flipped on. And wait a minute. The next question is, well, how do you recharge? Because every muscle that you have is a battery pack storing the energy for you to be able to function.
And your battery pack muscles are stacked on top of
Each other, yes.
Other.
Yes.
So one of the things you want to mention is, to your point, behavior modification.
Yes, yes. And what recharges those battery packs is movement. Have you
Yes.
ever heard a body in motion stays
Stays
in
in
motion?
motion.
It is because you are recharging your body with voltage whenever you move, as long as your circuit is flipped on. Because just like a battery inside a flashlight, when it's upside down, the flashlight doesn't work. It will not work. That is how your body circuits are. If they're flipped off, they cannot recharge. So we have to flip them back on, do the movement to recharge, and then work on those 5 underlying causes that cause them to flip off. Get them back into order so that you can maintain that circuitry working.
Okay. Before you continue, we have only a few minutes left on Dr. DELAGRAENTISS Presents, because I'm also going to bring on, all the way from Amsterdam in the Netherlands, that phenomenally triple talented Brandon DELAGRAENTISS. To close, we certainly enjoyed Miss Dane. She's awesome. So much talent there. But I want you to give some examples of people that you've seen us work with in the hospital.
Yes.
With challenges
In the
and
hospital.
lives changed.
Right now, I haven't explained this, we are sending the scalar energy in through the navel because that is that original point of entry for all your energy. So we are energizing the entire body as well. And after this, we would go with back to the electrode to stimulate all the muscles in your body with hand grips and foot plates. Then all of that energy would, it simulates movement.
Yes.
Okay? All right, and so some of the amazing things that we have seen. We've gone into the hospitals and treated several patients, like the man who had the heart, the pacemaker go up to the top of his shoulder, and had blood clots as well, which is another contraindication of not using the electrodes. Anybody with blood clots, we cannot use the electrodes on. Scalar energy, always.
Yes.
But not the electrodes. So we have treated scars on their arms that were hindering the circuits, on their legs, and those scars right away start responding and looking clearer. And an example, my sister has a scar from a cesarean section, and it was always lumpy. She used the scalar energy on it, and now it is smoothed out. So it just is amazing what it does to scars. We have used it to flip the switches and then treat specific areas, like the lungs that are congested and the infections that are there. And we have seen immediately, even to the extent that the nurses coming in the next day after treatment say, "Oh, what happened to this patient?" They're talking, they're eating, they're active.
Yes.
it really, really makes a difference because the energy is allowed to perform its job once the scalar energy flips the switches.
Exactly, and we want you, the wonderful audience of Dr. DELAGRAENTISS Presents, to know that we don't heal anybody. We prepare the body to eliminate toxicity and impurities such that the body can heal itself.
Yes.
It is designed by Abba Father Yahweh to do just that. We've just been bombarded with all kinds of challenges that dear Amy has already mentioned that are out there in the air, the water, the food stuff. And there's another quotient that you need to be mindful of. It's the things that you think that are out of balance that creates tremendous damage to everything about you. Yes, as a man or a woman thinketh in their heart, not the muscle. I've seen thousands of people grab, even in churches, leaders grab their heart and talk about, that's not what it is. Between the ears. Yeah, I see it. Some of you got a little small head, like 6 inches. And then, of course, I see the guy over there with that big gallowamper. Looks like he's got about 9 inches between ear to ear. But it's there that you think. All right? My dears, we are going to continue this series of ancient practices which are not really something that we've just thought of. It is what has been presented by Abba Father Yahweh and what has proven to be most effective, even far more effective than those other 3 things that you have been fed poison biscuits to believe that they are the answer. And they can't possibly be. The numbers even say they're not the answer. Okay. Last thing, anything else you want to say before we close this segment?
I have loved doing this presentation. Thank you so much, Dr. DELAGRAENTISS.
Good. I am honored to have you come and do that. And we switch the roles here. Now, my dears, we'll be right back in 2 and 2 with that phenomenally talented lesbian actor, director, producer. He's been on The Voice. He's been all over Europe. He's performed in London, Dubai, the Czech Republic, the list is long. Paris. You name it, he's performed there already. And we give the praise and the glory and the honor to Abba Father and his earthly father, quite frankly, because I had the vision before any of my 7 beautiful blessed children were born. I had the vision to speak into them prenatally. And it is most effective. I encourage all of you, don't wait until you see the child or until the child is old enough to go to school. No, you pour into them, because all my children are trilingual and some speak 4 and 5 languages, and they're all musically inclined. But they're great students because of what I poured into them prenatally, calling things to be not as though they were. You can do the same thing. This is your humble servant leader, Bishop Dr. Macheo Bolding de la Grantes, saying, if it is to be, it is up to you as it is up to we. You, my dears, should not allow demography to determine your destiny. It's not designed to do that. And I did not say democracy, I said demography. Because if it is to be, then don't give up, don't give out, and don't give in. Because if you don't quit, you will win. You are but an attitude away from greatness. Yes. Give yourself some love.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Ooh, it sounds like a bang, y'all. Introduce the summit, present the uncles, the crown prince of international praise, my man B.
I'm gonna let my light shine, let the word speak for me. So heaven gets the glory like Matthew 5:16. I'm gonna let my light shine bright, that is what's meant to be. So other folks can see what he has done for me. It still amazes me how wonderful life can be. It's like a song, like a beautiful harmony. Come put your feet on the floor and dance a while with me. A little two-step, can you feel the heat I bring? Everything that I do, because of you, is what you are. And you will know me by my work. You will know me by, and you will know me by. You will know me by, and you will know me by. You will know me by, and you will know me by. You will know me by.
The track is unbelievable. The vocals are indisputable. Second verse beat. Let the people know. Come through, come true. They're gonna know you by your work.
Listen, what I say and what I do is who I am. I get excited when vision becomes plan. Whoa, I won't worry, cause what's for me will not be changed. I've had some stumbling blocks, but I prayed them out my way. I've been around this world and I've seen all sorts of things. My Houston swagger, a Creole Bama prepared me. When you see me, you see authenticity. Just being true to the spirit that's in me. That I do because of you. It's who you are. You will know me by. 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 It's in the way that I walk, the way that I live, the way that I give, the way that I am. Say my name. Yeah. Let this light be in you that was also in him. Let me see it in your smile. Let me see that in the way that you walk, in the way that you talk, in the way that you live, in the way that you live now. Yeah. You will know me by my work. Thank you so much. Dank jullie wel. Doei!